Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Friday, December 10th, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. See if we can finish this week off on a high note before heading into the next week. I think we'll go ahead and slam Catilda Dawnheart Martyr here. Blue-White is, I think you've heard me say on this channel before, I think it's my favorite deck of the format. This goes super well in Blue-White. I want to hold on to this for dear life because this card is so good. All we have to do to make this card good is ensure that our opponents are not playing swamps so that it doesn't constantly get bleed dry cast on it. But that's not a reason for us not to take it here. We're definitely going to take it. Let's see, as far as the wheel goes, I mean, there's not a lot of great cards in this pack for Blue-White specifically. Scob is at a bit of a crossroads in Blue-White because it wants to be exiling creatures from the graveyard, whereas Blue-White has creatures in the graveyard you want to recast with Disturb. Assistant, maybe we could play one of those, but we're just going to go ahead and take this and see where this goes from here, okay? Okay, so best card in this pack is probably Packsong Pup, but the good news is we do have Panic Bystander, Kindly Ancestor, Cruel Witness, Steelclad Spirit. Would love to play any of these three in our deck here. I'm going to go ahead and take Cruel Witness. I've noticed the path to victory in the blue-white archetype is through flying. That's the most important. I would play 2 or 3 Kindly Ancestors very happily, but I want to make sure I have access to cards like Cruel Witness so that we can make sure we shore up the air. Would also play 2 or 3 Steelclad Spirits. These just hold up the ground well enough for our flyers to be able to get through. That's the success I've had with the blue-white archetype in this format here. Don't think Witness the Future's for us. Again, I'd say I would play a Spirit. There's also Syncopate and Siphon Essence, which I do like in this format. I think if I had to choose one, I'd probably take the first Syncopate over the first Siphon Essence, but I wouldn't mind playing at least one of each. Maybe we can wheel this Spirit. That would be great news if we could. But we'll go ahead and take our first counterspell here. Alright, really good pickup in Drogskull Infantry. There is a Siphon Essence, so maybe this one can wheel. Chill of the Grave is a fine enough card to play in an archetype like this. It's at least a cantrip. Can hold it up at instant speed, works well with Syncopate and Siphon Essence. But we're going to go ahead and take the Disturbed creature here and the 2-drop. So I know it may look like this draft, I'm kind of putting on the blinders and going down the blue-white train right after finding Catilda, which I will admit is likely happening a little bit here, but it's my favorite archetype. I've had the most success with it. We have one of the bomb rares that's going to really help drive it, and I feel like I have a good grasp on how to draft this deck well. So I kind of want to just go down the route unless we get hard pushed off of it. So now we have 3 spirits floating around the table. I really do hope we can wheel at least one of those. Okay, Soul Cipher board. Let's see. Top 2, one of them in your graveyard. Whenever a creature is put in your graveyard, remove it and then transform it. Yeah, it's way too slow. It's not even card advantage. Maybe eventually you get a flying creature. I haven't been a fan of the whole gotta catch 'em all, Wretched Throng life. So I'm going to go ahead and take Nurturing Presence. It goes along with our enchantment theme that we're likely to have in this kind of deck. Don't know if we'll play this card though. Okay, so Binding Geist, Cradle of Safety, and Scattered Thoughts are all cards I would love to play. I think I'm going to take... this is really difficult here. I think I'm going to take the first Cradle of Safety. With a card like Catilda, Cradle is so important. And I've noticed with any flyers, having an access to a Cradle of Safety or 2 can help save those flyers to keep getting in there. I really would not mind playing a Scattered Thoughts or even a Binding Geist. But I'm going to go ahead and take the first Cradle here. And we'll go ahead and cut blue with the first Stitched Assistant, although I don't know if this is a card we're looking to necessarily make our main deck. So here at pick 9, I mentioned the Scob could come back. I have not been a fan of the Spirit, but that's mainly because it's been cast on the other side of the battlefield against me in decks that I don't think know how to completely optimize it. If we're looking to be an aggressive flying deck, which we already have almost all of our creatures that are flyers, it may be decent. So I'm going to go ahead and take it here. Would love to see if in pack 2 we can pick up a Lantern Bearer or 2. That's something that really makes this deck tick as well. So a decent little blue-white start here. We've got a lot of the pieces that are needed, so... And we did wheel one of those spirits, which is great news for us. Love to play one or two of those in these kind of decks. So I'm liking where we're sitting here near the end of pack 1. We'll go ahead and take Evolving Wilds in the event that we find something we'd like to splash. None of these cards likely matter for us, so we'll just take the colorless card. Again, if we find something we'd like to splash, we're kind of set up to already do so with an Heirloom and a Wilds. I'll go ahead and start the Spirit in the board, but that's not to say it can't make its way into the main deck if we feel like we need it. So interestingly enough, I think there were 3 Steel-clad Spirits floating around the table, and only one of them came back to us. So I think that means blue-white is going to be contested at this table, but we really carved out our lane from pack 1, pick 1 so much that I think we're going to be just fine in making playables here. And when you're lucky, right? Dorothea, here we are. We'll go ahead and take Dorothea. I feel like every single blue-white deck I've had has had Dorothea. This will be my 3rd on the channel. I believe it's my 3rd on the channel, and all 3 will have had Dorothea. Another one of them had Catilda as well. Would love to play Circle of Confinement. Maybe Scattered Thoughts can come back around, but here we go. Probably the best rare we could have opened. So here we are with the blinders on for blue-white. All right, so... We've got Heron Blessed Geist, Cavalry, Adamant Will, Griff Rider, Heron of Hope. I think this is between Geist and Hope. Another card we really like to pick up a copy or 2 of is the white 1-drop. Can't think of the name of it right now for some weird reason, but that goes really, really well with Heron of Hope. That is a combo I'd like to find. I think if we had a copy of that, we would we'd take the Hope here, but I think the Geist is going to go better in a deck with what is ideally going to be a lot of Disturb. So far we have 3. So we'll go ahead and take our first Geist over the Hope here. So a Hopeful Initiate. Decent card, but I don't think it really goes in this deck, right? There's an Adamant Will, Beguiler, Geist, Spirit. I think I'll take my second Geist, and maybe we can wheel an Adamant Will or a Spirit, maybe even a Beguiler out of this pack. I don't think I'd be opposed to playing a Beguiler in this deck. I haven't done that in my previous blue-white decks, but it holds down the ground very well and can really push through that last bit of damage if you need to tap something. But we'll go ahead and take another Heron Blessed Geist here. Pretty easy Kindly Ancestor, I think. Yeah, Radiant Grace, I don't think is what these decks are necessarily looking for. I could be wrong. This card seems powerful. But again, we're going in with flyers, is what we're hoping to do. So we're going to take Kindly Ancestor here. Maybe we wheel another Spirit or Syncopate. There has been like 6 Spirits opened at this table already, so... Alright, so in a late Abrade here, pick 5, but I don't think we need to consider trying to splash that necessarily when there's a card like Binding Geist or even Griff Rider in this pack. I think I'm going to take Binding Geist for the Disturb value. I think I'd actually play a Griff Rider in this deck because it works well with Cruel Witness and the Heron Blessed Geist. It works well with Dorothea, Catilda, Druxel. It works well with almost all of our cards, and it's a flyer. But this one has the key Disturb mechanic, which I think we need to make sure that we can try to maximize here. Alright, don't need Sanctify, don't care about Throng. I'll take Fear of Death, but it's not a card I'm really looking to run. Sigarda's Imprisonment, pick 7. I was about to mention that we hope we can get at least 1 copy, maybe 2, of Imprisonment here, and we did. So this is a great pickup here at pick 7. And pick 8, we could take another Heron Blessed Geist, and I think I will because I'm not super excited about any of these cards here. But this makes me wish I would have taken the Heron of Hope earlier. That way we could have 1 and 2, but we'll go ahead and take the Geist here, and then none of these cards matter for us. Traveling Minister is the card that I was thinking of that we'd love to pick up probably a copy or 2 of. I might even be willing to pick 1 out of pack 3 if we need to. We already have a Spirit. Don't know if we'd play 2. We might, but I'll take our first Adamant Will to protect things like Dorothea when it's on the backside and Catilda. So we'll take Adamant Will. Fine trick here. We'll cut blue. Don't think I want Soul Cipher board in my deck, though. There's another Spirit, so that's great news for us. Let's check out our curve. Curve is looking pretty good here. Oops. And a last pick Sanctify, that's fine. Okay, so here we are in pack 3. There's a Tauren's Fist of the Angels, but it's not really for us. A very, very good card in green-white, obviously. There's a Thirst for Discovery and a Sigarda's Imprisonment, basically. I think I'm going to take my second Imprisonment here. Right now, these 2 imprisonments are our only form of interaction with the opponent, so I think we definitely want to shore up another removal spell here. I would definitely play a Thirst for Discovery, but I'm not going to take it over Imprisonment here. By invitation only. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and take that. This is a very, very powerful card. I haven't had it cast... I haven't cast it yet this format. I have had it cast against me before. I mean, it's just a board wipe, and if you can really play towards that, it goes very, very well. So we're going to go ahead and take the board wipe here. Alright, so here we've got Dawnheartgeist, Fierce Retribution, Scattered Thoughts are the cards I'm looking at. I really do like Dawnheartgeist in this deck. It's a 2-drop, it blocks well, it gains life, all that kind of stuff. It is a card that I've seen has the ability to wheel, and I think we'd like to shore up another removal spell here. So I'm going to take Fierce Retribution. I do like cards like Scattered Thoughts and Thirst from the previous pack, or 2 packs ago. But we just seen good removal spells and good creatures, which I think is more important in this format. To get on the board and remove your your opponent's creatures from the board as well. So here's one of those bleed dries that constantly wrecks me in this format. There's a Geistlight Snare. I'd probably actually play this card, but I don't think I'm going to take it over either a second Cradle or a Cruel Witness. I'm going to go with Cruel Witness here. Yeah, I'm going to go with Cruel Witness, and then if this wheels, I think I'm going to go ahead and consider playing it. It's basically going to be 2 mana counterspell, or even 1 mana in some cases if we have it late. So we'll take Cruel Witness, and then we'll go ahead and slam another Imprisonment here. Looks like Black-Blue has been wide open. Pick 5 Heroes Downfall, pick 4 Bleed Dry, double Biolume Egg. That could have been a fun deck to get into, but I think our deck's just fine. Great pickup in Drogskol Infantry. We'll take another 2-drop. Okay, so there's another Snare. We haven't taken it. Where is our curve looking? I think we can afford another Kindly Ancestor here, plus it has the backside of Disturb. We do have double Steelclad Spirit. Honestly, I'd probably play a 3rd, but I think we're going to go ahead and take the Disturb creature here. Foreboding Statue or Cradle of Safety. So this is another threat. But there's also another Cradle of Safety to help save our creatures. I'm actually going to go with Cradle of Safety. This is a tough pick here. But look, we've got like 7 flyers already. Between Catilda, 3 Witnesses, 3 Heron Blessed Geists. If we can protect those, that can go a long way. I'm going to take Radiant Grace. I don't know if I'm going to play it. In fact, I don't think I will, but I'm going to go ahead and take it here. Lots of really good late green. This draft is weird. There's a lot of late blue, black, and green. Red-black also seeming to be a little open, but nothing for us. Scattered Thoughts over a second Wanderlight Spirit. See, look, Biolume Egg going basically last pick here, so interesting. Another Cradle. Okay. Socialite, and then something sooner. So, a couple picks I'd like to have back. I'd like to have a first Heron Blessed Geist, or a first 4 mana 2/3 flyer. It's got Heron in the name too, I think. Over the third one here, I'd like to have that Cradle of Safety pick back since we got a third one, but that's all right. So here at deck building, let's take a look. I don't think we need to consider anything that was put into the sideboard yet. We do have 15 creatures, which is good. 3 5-drops is a little much, and we don't really have ways to put them into the graveyard except a single copy of Scattered Thoughts. But again, this is how we're winning the game here. I don't think I want 3 Cradles. I'll play 2, just fine. 3 Imprisonments is great. I like all of our creatures, except maybe the third Geist. 3 5-drops is a little much. And then the last cut here, it might be Binding Geist. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enchantment spells up here. We have a ton of non-creatures for our triple Cruel Witness. Yeah, I actually think it's going to be Binding Geist. That'll put us at 13 creatures, but that's okay because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them are flying. We didn't get any Lantern Bearers this draft, which is unfortunate, but I do think this deck is still pretty good here. Yeah, and we do have the Wrath to help get us out of something. If we need to, a little bit of card draw, some protection for our flyers, we can counter something. So I do think this deck has potential here. We'll go ahead and run it back like this. So thanks everyone for continuing to watch the channel, or if you're new, then welcome, and go ahead and click that subscribe button to stay informed about what's going on later. So here on the channel, we draft 1 premiere draft each weekday to be released in the morning for you to watch, and we have access to a ton of drafts in this format. I don't even know what number this is at this point, where I think we're at somewhere in the 20s. So we've done a ton of drafts, and you know what? The format's still somewhat young. We've got a ton more to go. So I'm super excited for this channel, and I hope you consider supporting me as well by clicking that like or even subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated. So let's hop on into round 1 here. Alright, so we're on the draw. We don't have a white, but any land lets us cast Scattered Thoughts to hopefully draw out of this, and we can syncopate something if something starts to get out of hand. A white lets us play a creature, so I'm going to keep this, but it isn't the warmest and fuzziest of keeps. That's a good draw. That helps hold down the ground for us to find our white. It's a fun land. Unfortunately, now they've been tipped off to the fact that we have Syncopate, but we didn't have another land to play, so that's what we had to do. There's our planes. Okay, so we can We can imprison something. We can just play infantry. We can hold up Adamant Will and Syncopate. Yeah, I don't think we really want to imprison something on this board. Infantry doesn't have great blocks here, so I think I'm going to hold up Syncopate and Adamant Will. Am I willing to trade this for Rallier? Probably. Although I think I'd block Geist if they attacked with both, and then when they tried to pump Geist, because if they attacked with Geist, they're going to have a combat trick. We can go ahead and block it and give it Adamant Will to survive. But let's see what they have here. So they are getting in. So clearly this means they have a combat trick. It might be Adamant Will as well, but we're basically just going to trade Adamant Wills here. We could also counter their Adamant Will if they... Oh, they just don't have anything? Okay, sure. Maybe they're going to try to put it on the Rallier now? Nope. Do we need to counter that? In the interest of mana efficiency, I think we will. There's Catilda, but unfortunately we can't cast it. Play Island, so if they put Geist on top of Rallier, well the thing is, Rallier can't attack. So they have a bit of a shields down moment here, so we can use Scattered Thoughts to help refill our hand and really start to go to town. I think that's what we're going to have to plan on doing. I don't think we need to imprison the Rallier, at least not yet. We probably want to imprison whatever they put this on. Okay. So we definitely want a Plains, and I think we need by invitation only here. So we'll play the Plains. Let's see, so if we try to outrace their creature count, this gets much, much better because we can be left with a creature behind. We could also just say sandbag this and wipe the board, but the thing is we don't really have anything to do in the meantime here. If we play Catilda, that's our only play for the turn. We can play infantry and hold up Will, but they're going to attack and then pay. So this is difficult here. I might just wipe the board because they haven't proven they have a lot to follow it up with. This gets worse with a Wrath on the board. We don't want to play this into a Wrath for ourselves. And basically next turn we're taking potentially like as much as 10. And that we don't need that. So I think we're just going to go ahead and Wrath the board and choose 13, because why not? Because we have a good follow-up here with Catilda. We can also imprison their hunter like that. There we go. And then we can play infantry, so that seems totally fine. Let's do imprisonment here. And then we can do Catilda. Actually, I'm going to go infantry, so next turn we can hold up Adamant Will on top of Catilda once we play it. So I'm going to play infantry first. No play for them. So we'll play Catilda here. Looks like they have Fierce Retribution. Oh, Piercing Light. Yeah, we don't care too much about that. And I'm not going to play the... Is this letting us play this? Oh, we do have an enchantment. I didn't see on the other side of it. I'm not going to do either of these because we want to hold up Adamant Will to protect Catilda from maybe a Wolf Strike or something like that. So we'll end the turn. Next turn we can do one of these and then Adamant Will as well. Okay, we don't care about that. My turn. So we have access to 8 mana. I think we just want to get this going. So we'll play our land because we don't have access to a ton of blood, or maybe even any blood. So let's do Geist here. That'll make it a 4/4. And again, I'm still going to hold up Adamant Will for as long as I can. Sigarda's Imprisonment would be unfortunate to put on Catilda for us here, if they got that, because Adamant Will doesn't protect that. But we've started to build up some flyers. And I feel like every time I say something like that, they always just have it, don't they? Feel like they just top deck that too. Because they would have put it on it last turn, but here we are, so whatever. Let's play Cruel Witness. We can also just infantry here. And yes, we will put that into our graveyard. And we'll go ahead and get in with both. I'm fine trading Griff Rider for a 1/1. We'll hold the land here. Okay, so they have a 6/6. There's Dorothea. It's a pretty good draw for us. Let's go ahead and get in there. We'll definitely play Dorothea. This lets us leave up 6 mana for Sigarda, plus using the blood token to get rid of the island. And if we block with Dorothea, they're just dead next turn. So, yep, there we go. Maybe one day Catilda will survive. But so far, today is not that day. Okay, so we're on the draw here. Any land is good draw. Dorothea is a fine turn 2 play. There's our second land, so third land, I mean. We'll go ahead and play Dorothea. And next turn, if we don't need to imprison something, we can just Evolving Wilds, hold up Cradle of Safety, and then Cruel Witness the following turn. So we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll just crack that now. Don't think we need to attack. So we'll just pass. They very clearly are holding up a counterspell here. So double Cradle of Safety. We're going to go ahead and hold up Scattered Thoughts of our own rather than play into it, because we have no reason to. They're just burning their turns. We're actually using our mana. Another one. So let's see if they want to counter Scattered Thoughts or not. They don't. I think a land is a fine draw here. And then, because they're playing red, Adamant Will to protect a creature is probably not a bad draw either. So we'll take these two. Definitely don't want to play Catilda into open mana here. So if we pass, we're basically burning our turn as well, but they have. I feel like they are the ones that have to start doing something here, not us. So they've literally done nothing this game, the whole game. Okay, land is fine. Do we just play? I don't really know what's going on here. We definitely aren't playing Catilda into Syncopate mana, because that exiles. I don't think we're having any success landing a Cruel Witness here, so, I mean, I think at the point that I'm going to play this out is if they leave up mana and we have to discard a card at the end of turn. That's when I'll play Cruel Witness. Here they go again. So, again, this is a weird game. Yeah, we'll just pass it back. Hopefully they don't have Hullbreaker Horror. That would be awful. So another land. Okay. Just a staring contest here. Are they playing a deck of 40 lands? Sure. What on earth? Alright, well, let's just play a creature here, I guess. Have it get countered, but it's fine. We knew that was going to happen. And let's play another one, see if they have another counter. Sure, so now at least, hopefully the door is open for Catilda here. Ideally, but we will see. Okay, so we can just imprison that, which is fine. So let's do this first in case they do have Syncopate. And then we'll go ahead and imprison that. Now we can just ride Catilda to victory with Adamant Will, double Cradle of Safety. Even if we want to attack with Dorothea, next turn we can put it on top of Catilda and then just... I mean, they have to have like 4 removal spells for this to go wrong. So I'm actually going to do that. So, now actually they have to have 2 removal spells. Because they can try to remove it, we'll cradle it, and then they have to have another removal at instant speed. Let's hope they don't have 2 here. So there's the first one. We'll see if this works, or if they have another one here. Alright, so it survived. It'll be difficult for them to push through now, because once we can enchant it with this, and then we still have double backup, I think that'll work just fine in our favor. Yep, so let's go ahead and enchant it. That doesn't remove it. But we still have another backup here. I think it's like a 2-turn clock if we do it this way, so yeah. So right now we're dealing 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We did this, it would be 12, so we don't quite have lethal. Let's go to combat. This would be 13. So we can do 2, so we're 12, 13, 14. Still not enough. And then we can still hold up Adamant Will if we play the infantry here. Hopefully they don't have Exile. Maybe a Swamp into Bleed Dry would be the only thing I could think that would get them out of this. So they're digging hard here. Wow, they have a lot of Angers in this deck. It's their 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 4 in there. Their deck seems pretty sweet. But it's hard to beat a Catilda that we have triple backup for. I mean, they didn't make a play until about turn 9 in that game, so we were just able to build up our hand enough to get everything we needed to push through the last little bit of damage there. Okay, so we're on the draw. We don't have any creatures. We have double removal and a card draw spell. This doesn't do anything unless we get a creature down, but at least we have removal. It's a pretty good draw for us. Okay. So we're going to take 7 here? Yikes. Yeah, we just need to play the Ancestor here. Hope it survives. We might just get run over. So we'll go ahead and chump here. Foreboding Statue. Okay, so I think we just go ahead and play Cruel Witness. We gotta see if we can get to a point where we can stabilize on this deck here, or on this board. Okay, so they hit a Bleed Dry. They can cast it on our Witness here. Take 2. They'll flip it into a 4/3. Probably gonna have to imprison that. A white would be a great draw, because we could cast Infantry and Imprisonment. Close, but no cigar. We'll play the Wilds, and we just have to do this now. We'll get a white end of turn. We can do this and imprison something else next turn. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're at 6. I think we have... I don't want to imprison anything, but we probably got to imprison the statue, play the infantry. And again, I hope they don't keep removing all of our creatures. So that's exactly what they keep doing. Alright, so we're taking 4 now. And even if we play Heron Blessed Geist, we're dead next turn, so... we have to draw a small enough creature to put lifelink on it, is our only out, I think. That won't do it. So, yeah, we play Geist, we block here, we take 2. Yep. Well, we played 3 creatures, they had 3 removal spells, so we just couldn't get on the board there. Don't think that's a great matchup for us if they just curve out. And then we plan on blocking. Because if they have any removal, then we're too far behind. Alright, so our mono white deck here looks like we'll go ahead and keep it. Okay. Were we playing standard mono white or something? Okay, so they're going to have a Braid mana up, so I don't think I want to play Catilda first. I think we'll trade. We'll hold up Fierce Retribution to get rid of their Pack Song Pup, very likely. Rather than just playing a 1/1 Catilda. Jeez. Alright, so we have infantry that we can give lifelink to, but how good is that even? There's a Catilda that might just die if we play it. Let's play infantry. Maybe we hold up Cradle of Safety. I think if we draw any land, Catilda plus Cradle of Safety is good, but... gotta draw a land here. No blocks. And no plays. And no lands. Guess I'll go ahead and give this lifelink. See if they want to remove it. They do. So do we give this Cradle of Safety here? Or do we save that for Catilda? I think we need some sort of board presence. Still no land. I think we would need to... I know this can flip. Gosh. So if we imprison this, that's just not great news for us. This still gets value if we imprison it as well. If we do, we have an attack that still bounces, but we gain life. But Our only other play is Catilda, so let's hope it survives. Okay, another Cloaked Cadet, that's fine. See if they just play it. They do. Okay, so our Catilda survived, but we don't have backup for it anymore, unfortunately. We will go ahead and play this pre-combat so we can get an extra lifelink. In green-red, getting rid of a 5/5 is going to be pretty difficult for them. So they're just going to flip it tonight. But as long as we have Catilda, I think that's okay. Now we have backup for Catilda here. So let's actually... This is already flipped. Let's go ahead and imprison it to give us an extra lifelink trigger. And we can hold up Cradle. This is 9 here. Yeah, that'll do it. So see how important it is to make sure Catilda survives on this board. That's why I'm playing double Cradle of Safety and Adamant Will. And honestly, there's an argument for maybe even putting in that third Cradle of Safety. It's been so impressive so far. Let's take a quick look here. So we know we have an extra Cradle of Safety in the deck. What will we cut for it? I don't know, honestly. But, yeah, it's just been very important when we have drawn them to make sure we save them for Catilda or a very, very important flyer. Okay, so this time, unfortunately, our mono white deck has blue cards in it. So I don't think we can keep that. This is better. We'll go ahead and bottom one of the 5-drops. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Spirit on 2 rather than Dorothea. But we'll see what they play. Alright. Scob is the only thing they can get back now. But we'll go ahead and do this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and discard a Plains here. Or exile, I suppose, a Plains. They're going to get back their Scob. Fierce Retribution. I don't think we want to imprison either of these things, so we'll just go ahead and play our Dorothea. Into Swamp Bleed Dry, very likely. Nope, don't have the Swamp. Storm Chaser Drake. Okay. Do we imprison the Drake here? I don't think we need to. I'd probably rather imprison the Skywarp Scob, because that means we can start getting in. Because once we drop Geist, Drake doesn't have good attacks anymore unless they enchant it. So, I don't think we need to. We'll just pass, and if they try to attack with Drake or something like that, then we can Fierce Retribution it. They do. I don't think we need to block with Dorothea. So they probably have Cradle of Safety here. But let's do this pre-blocking for them to use their Cradle of Safety, and then Undying Malice. Okay. So that's pretty good for them, but still have a decent block on it. And I think we just go ahead and play Heron Blessed Geist here. No need to attack. Okay, so that's the one we want to imprison. Now that we have double imprisonment. We'll go ahead and imprison the Scob here, and I think we'll attack like this. I think I'm fine trading this for a Drake. Sure. So let's see what their follow-up is here. Now that the board is basically clear. They do have a lot more cards in hands than us, but we have a couple of flyers coming and another removal spell. Okay. We'll just do that first. And pass the turn. So it looks like this may be a battle in the air here. We'll get back a retrieval or a malice here. Retrieval. Okay, so we can't cast imprisonment as long as they have retrieval. Let's play our land, and we'll play our own Cruel Witness here. And no attacks. That retrieval is going to be really awkward for as long as they have it in hand. We need to get to 8 mana to be able to cast this and exile it before they retrieve it. So Doom to Center and Fear of Death, okay. Another land. I might hold that to protect against another Mind Leech Ghoul. But let's actually get in with Cruel Witness. I'm fine trading if that's what they want to do. Maybe they have another Malice or a Cradle of Safety? Nope, okay. We'll hold. Don't care about that. Don't need to take it, or don't need to block there. So here comes the Bleed Dry. Nope. Another island, alright. We'll get in with these two. And we'll pass. So right now we have 7, 8 mana, like I mentioned, for the imprisonment. There is the Bleed Dry. So we can do that and then hold up the activation in response to Alchemist Retrieval. Well, not even, because they're going to do it in response to the imprisonment. Alright, well we just gotta hope we don't draw any more lands here. We're on 9 lands so far. There's the Bleed Dry. Again. This card is the bane of my existence in this format. Because if we try to imprison this and they return it, they can play it, sacrifice Specimen, get back Bleed Dry, and then we can like never land another creature this game. I mean, they can do that either way, honestly. They might just do it now anyway. Okay, so we're probably going to have to try to imprison that, which won't go well. Here's our 10th land. They'll retrieve that, and we'll just kind of sit here behind a couple of 1/1s. We'll leave one back to chump the Scob because we're not doing much else here. At least it's a creature. Hopefully it survives. And I'm done with this game. Alright, that's the third time I played against Horror. Well, I hardly played against it here, but it was the reason we lost, so... I beat it once! And that's probably the maximum amount of times you can beat Hullbreaker Horror in this format. So we drew like 10 lands and 6 spells that game or something like that. When we're playing a low creature count as it is, it's going to be hard to really be able to stabilize with that many lands. So let's hope we play against a bit grindier of a deck. I think if we're playing against a grindy deck, we have the advantage here. But if the deck is at all aggressive or has a really, really good curve, that's where we start to get in trouble. We'll keep this. Five drop off the top is not what we wanted to see. I think I'm actually gonna get the blue so we can play Ancestor next turn. So it has lifelink. Okay, so they could start gaining or drawing cards here. But then they wouldn't be advancing their board, so I don't think they want to do that yet. Use the bleed dry now. Just use it now. Nope. Okay. Alright. So we missed a land. So I think we just have to be mana efficient here and play Ancestor again. I'm fine trading here, if they let us. Hopefully they don't have Undying Malice or something. Because the fewer triggers they get off of this, the better. So they have their own Ancestor. Okay, so we drew a land. So we can go Infantry plus Dorothea or Infantry plus Spirit. I think I'm going to go Infantry and Spirit. And no attacks. If they don't play a creature and we draw a land, we can wipe the board except for one of our creatures. But they do draw a creature here. Okay, so do we just sandbag the board for drawing by invitation only? Or do we cast Dorothea? If we cast Dorothea, I don't think we cast Ancestor because at some point we're going to wipe the board, so... difficult. We're not taking a ton from the cavalry right now. And if we do this, and they're almost certainly going to play to the board in some way next turn, right? I think I'm willing to wait it out one turn. I also don't want to expose this to a removal spell. They probably have a bleed dry in hand, as always, and they don't need to use it on any of these. So I'm actually going to pass. And hope they play like 2 creatures or something, and then we draw a land. Jeez. Okay, well that wasn't great. Alright, so we're basically banking on drawing a land here if we do this. Yeah, but we can't take 13 or whatever. Okay, so we missed a land, and not only missed it, but drew a card we couldn't cast. So I guess we're just playing Dorothea at this point. So they have a splash. They're gonna bleed dry our Dorothea. That's just about as bad. So, well, I mean, if we draw the land, we can put this in the graveyard. Hopefully they play another creature and then we draw a land. They do. Alright. Land. There it is. So let's just do that. So they do get the first chance to rebuild, but we have a lot of gas here, so... Good gosh. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and imprison that next turn, like, right now. Yep. Oh my gosh. Okay. All of the gold cards that are good. They're at 34. Drawing cards. There's another imprisonment. We're just gonna... I think we can play Cruel Witness, give it lifelink, get a scry, and see if we can find a land to do Cruel Witness imprisonment next turn or something like that. So... yeah, let's do Cruel Witness, we'll give it lifelink, hopefully it doesn't die. There's the land, we'll decline so that next turn we can go Witness plus imprisonment. It does die. So we'll take 5 again, and then next turn, we're not dead. They have removal spell, we're dead. But we'll go ahead and imprison this one. Decline to put that in my graveyard, so hopefully no more removal. There's the removal. Alright. Always, always. Well, I think we had a good deck. We had some pretty awkward losses there that were just pretty strange, I think. I don't think we really deserved to lose a few of those games. We had a nice board wipe and they followed it up with an Insane Bomb Mythic Rare and then all kinds of things like that. So I think we had a good deck. I think we had a pretty good chance at a trophy if we had just kind of had a couple other things break our way. But you know what? 3 wins ain't bad. Keeps us near 50%-ish. But, you know, here we are. Thanks so much for tuning in today. That'll do it for this video, and I will see you on Monday for your daily draft.